be recording now, but I like to wait for the little yellow light. And it's not there yet, but it's coming up. Come on, little yellow. There it is. It's live. Hey, Internet friends. Magic Brad here. Synergy Collaborative, Synergy Cafe, and all those sorts of things. And I've got my friend Damon Dickinson on the other end. We're both living in Asheville, but he's on the north side, I'm on the south side, and we're connecting via the Internet. Damon, are you there?
I am, Sir Brad.
Perfect.
Good afternoon.
So what we're going to talk about today is meditation again, and I wanted to start with like the core essence of it, of exactly what is meditation. Because I know I did a post on, it was LinkedIn or Google, and I said, is meditation like prayer? So, Damon, what is meditation?
Well, it's a very good question, a very broad question. So meditation is going to be different things to different people. If we were going to break it down to its simplest definition, it's whatever our consciousness is focusing on. So it's the act of focusing our consciousness on a particular, typically object of one form or another, whether it be our mind or our heart or another person or a mantra, which is a repeated phrase, or music. So meditation, in essence, is whatever we are focusing on. And so it incorporates a lot of different forms of practice. There are walking meditations. There are mindfulness meditations. There are heart-based meditations. Prayer in itself could be considered a form of meditation where we're focusing on our words, our conversation with the divine. Even though quite often they're considered separate prayer and meditation. And that can be too, because we could be focusing on the divine and praying, speaking, talking to the divine. A lot of times, and one thing I heard was that meditation is listening to the Creator or God or Source, and prayer is speaking.
We're on the same vibe. That's the exact same thing I was just thinking about right now, because I saw it in my string of comments. That's exactly the way that a lot of people explained it.
Yeah, so there is this sort of focused attention where we're letting in. We're in a way like we would listen. We're in a very active, open, present state to what's happening, and we're focusing usually on one particular point of consciousness.
That's what I've found, that some people say that what they, Shakti Gawain, she had a thing in her book, Creative Visualization, about like, visualize that you're sitting at the bottom of the ocean and you're blowing bubbles up and you're counting the bubbles as they come up. So then you're just focusing on those bubbles. Right. So that's, I guess, one way of focusing on the bubbles. And it's they're all just techniques of quieting the mind, because the mind is always thinking. And so isn't it kind of like just the ability to really relax your body, so you're not thinking about your tense shoulders, just be relaxed, and then stop that chatter in the mind thinking, I got to get to work, or all these things that you think you've got to do, so that it's to a neutral place, and then you'll be able to get information that is non-polarized. Is that a way of explaining it?
Yeah, but I mean, really, meditation can be so many different things. That's, a classical form of meditation that people think of is one where you're training your mind to be quiet. You're relaxing. You're sitting in a posture. Your eyes are closed, and you're om, or you're focusing on your breath, or you're focusing on a sound, or you're focusing on the flame of a candle. That is a typical traditional form of meditation. But really, Brad, being fully engaged in a sport could be a form of meditation. Skiing down a hill on snow skis could be a form of meditation. Painting a picture with your full awareness can be a deep, deep, deep form of meditation. There's, the spinsters, the older women, and I guess it was Ram Dass was saying, he was doing a lecture, and in the front row was this very elderly lady, like way out of the demographics of everyone else that was there, at least a generation older than everyone else was there. But as he was speaking, you could see she was like shaking her head, yes, everything he was talking about. And this was in the 70s. And it kind of intrigued him. It's like, man, this lady's like really hip. She's getting everything I'm saying. And after the event, she came up and say, "Oh, I really loved what you had to say. I could relate to everything you could have to say. It was wonderful." And he goes, "Really? What kind of meditation practice do you have?" And she goes, "I spin." Or no, she said, "I knit." So really anything where we're allowing ourselves to be fully engaged. And quite often the beginning forms of meditation, more active forms of meditation are easier to do that with. Where we're walking or running or painting or doing something active. And then allowing
kind of like getting into the alpha state, like you're like driving your car. You don't really long distances. You don't really have to think. You just kind of cruise, and your mind gets into.
Well, sort of, kind of. That's almost a place of going unconscious, which is a little different, where we kind of fade in and out of consciousness. Because a lot of times you could be driving your car and you come back and you go, "Oh my God, where was I for the last 10 minutes? Who's driving the car?" And that's a little bit different, because we really want a different effect where we're actually more fully engaged. Like, you can feel the steering wheel in your hands and your foot on the gas pedal and the radio playing and the full view of what's in front of you and be engaged with your thoughts. So it's bringing all the senses into a present moment state, fully conscious state.
Okay, so it's not so much the subconscious you're trying to bring in, it's taking full advantage of the physical senses. You can smell something, you can see something, hear something, feel something.
Well, it's just the more of the senses that you can, at first, in beginning phases, stages, that you can tune into simultaneously, it's going to help you stay more present. And it also, in a sense, can help you to kind of detach from our unconscious patterns. Because a lot of times what's happening when we're, like, for example, driving and we kind of go unconscious and we come back is we get lost in our thinking. Like, we become identified with our thinking, like we're in a dream state, than actually being able to witness and see or experience more directly what we're actually thinking. Like, we're aware that we're actually thinking something as opposed to being in the thought.
Okay, so when we first started this session, didn't you sort of give it like a one-sentence description of what meditation was?
Yeah, the act of focusing our consciousness.
Okay, so that's what meditation is. Because a lot of people, I think, they get into, okay, you got to do the little thing with your fingers, you got to sit down with your legs crossed, you got to, and everybody thinks that's what meditation is. It's a stereotype.
Well, it is. It's one form, but it's not all there is. It's like saying, yoga. You say the word yoga and you think of hatha yoga. That's the only kind of yoga there is. But there's actually many, many forms of yoga or the path that bring you to oneness. Yoga means oneness.
Got it. Okay, well, again, I don't like to do these things too long and take people's too much of their time, and I've got some stuff that I've got to do. This was kind of a short one. If you want to go longer, we can go a little longer. It's only
No, this is great. I think we answered the question, and we'll look forward to more of these sessions where we can answer more of the questions.
Absolutely, and we've got these things out and about. If anybody wants to learn more, of course, you can just click on links around this video and get a hold of Damon or myself. And we plan on doing a lot more of these spirituality and meditation and wellness-based metaphysical type functions. So, peace, love, and happiness. Magic Brad signing off. Thank you again, Damon, for taking the time.
Thanks, Brad. Have a blessed day.